there! So it's Miss Universe pageant once again. It's so fast. And I'm very thankful it's fast because I can't wait for it to happen. I'm so excited to know who will be the next Miss Universe. And will Philippines make it to the top 15? Or can she win it and give the Philippines a back-to-back win? That makes Miss Universe 2019 pageant more thrilling than before because of that scenario, a possible scenario. Just like what I've been telling everyone, that unlike in 2016, that we were aiming for a back-to-back victory, this year, or a back-to-back victory this year, is more realistic than that year. And I'm sure a lot of people would agree, not just Pinoys. So let's see now, because we have already seen Gazini mingling with other candidates. It's always been like that you would see a potential of your favorite if you'll go all the way to the crown the moment she is photographed side by side with other top contenders, or sandwiched by two unpopular candidates. If she is eclipsed by an average girl, I'm saying, I'm talking about the impact, the physical attributes, based on personal preferences, and her rankings among the top-notch analysts of pageants. Yung matabunan ka ng someone like that, who really does not belong to the elite circle of beauties, that would make or break your chances of winning. Well, most probably. So I've really been browsing through all these videos popping out of my screen, of my YouTube screen, every minute of the day, because I am excited to find out who excels today, who were eclipsed by other candidates today. How about Brazil and Colombia? They were together. How about the Philippines, with other candidates? Was she able to come out strong amidst all these equally gorgeous girls from around the world? So I made a list. This is not really a list of my personal favorites. My personal favorites, or my hot list, will come out right after the preliminary competition, as always. But mind you, the preliminary competition does not always showcase the best of the best. Sometimes, or in some instances, some Miss Universe winners didn't, give a superb performance during the preliminary competition. And I'd like to mention Miss South Africa. She was simply overshadowed by other candidates. Yet, she won. And she was a very strong girl. Even before the preliminary competition, even before the candidates arrived in the US, she was already a heavy favorite. She was already one of the most talked about candidates. Still, it was very surprising that she would go all the way to the crown because of that dismal performance at the preliminary competition, because you were expecting a lot. It doesn't mean that she gave the worst performance of that night. It's just that, she was a heavy favorite and she had been doing well. Speaking of the emotion, Passerella speaking and confidence speaking, but she really, disappointed me. Well, maybe I was the only one who was disappointed about that performance, but that's what I saw. And Peter Wurzbach also, she was not really on top of my list. Her preliminary performance was a little bit unsure. If you would just review the preliminary competition, you would see that she was not really that confident. She was glamorous, she was beautiful. The physical does not lie. She was going to go all the way. She was going to make it to the top 15. But still, you have doubts because of that unsure performance that she was about to put it here, and then all of a sudden she just thought of just hang it down like that. Try to see it for yourself. And I think that was a sign of uneasiness. Or maybe that was a result of too much training. I don't know. But that's what I saw as well. So, even if I'm saying all of these things, still, I'm gonna base my top 15 hot list for Miss Universe from their preliminary performances. 90%. Alright, so these are the girls who are undoubtedly the front runners. South Africa should be here, but she slipped down a bit from this Frontrunners list because of Vietnam. I think Vietnam is stronger from the eyes of the general public and from the list of the specialists. Okay, so let's talk about them one by one. Let's start with Miss Philippines. May chance ba na back-to-back victory? Mahirap. So difficult, really. But you know what? In one segment where they were asked, what question was that? What would their reign be like? Sort of that. She was one of the most convincing or most persuasive speakers there. And charming at the same time. She was all out smiling. Brazil and Philippines, I think they stood out in that video presentation. So I love Philippines not because I am a Filipino. I love Philippines because you don't see in her, lack of confidence anymore that you would expect from someone who's being bashed heavily by other fans of other candidates. I think she's really determined to win. That she would just ignore all of these things. Or maybe she just doesn't know that she's being bashed heavily by some fans. Because as what she said once, I think she doesn't read comments anymore. Sort of that. Please pardon me if I got all it wrong, but I think I've heard her saying that. That she doesn't pay attention anymore to this criticisms and hurting comments, so that she won't be affected. And you wouldn't see any fear. You wouldn't see any. You don't see that she feels down. You could see the confidence to go on and just do her best. So I think that would push Gazini to go all the way to the ground. But first, she must hurdle the elimination round. Let's admit this. The confidence and trust that we gave to Catriona is not being extended to Gazini at this point. But, Catriona is Catriona. She's on another level. That's, for me, that's what I feel. Just be included in the top 15 and I would be happy. What Gazini needs now is our support. We have to be sure that she would be in. So give your best in voting right now. It's always been an amazing feeling seeing the Philippines making it through. So, good luck. Vote, vote, vote. Now, before I give you more about the Philippines, let's proceed with my thoughts on the other girls. Let's go. Miss Brazil remains to be one of my top favorites for the crown. If I'd be given a chance to select the face of Miss Universe for 2019, I would choose her. I didn't like her at first, but now I begin to feel her strength. I believe she would give the other frontrunners a headache during the finals night. Chesley is the strongest candidate of USA to Miss Universe pageant since 2012. Her being a woman of color and a powerful speaker would make a difference. Would make a big difference. I'm not really a fan of Vietnam, but I must admit that she's got a great body and she projects supreme confidence on camera. In fact, she's able to stand out among equally beautiful girls. Miss Puerto Rico has a great chance of winning Miss Universe because, number one, I think she's one of the most prepared candidates for this pageant, and number two, she is a veteran of pageants. I may not like Venezuela that much, but wow, Venezuela is Venezuela. For me, she remains to be the strongest representative of the European region to Miss Universe this year. After choosing Miss World over Miss Universe in 2018, she's back. And it must be fate that brought her here to win the title. Miss France has a voguish appeal, and she should use that to her advantage. Thailand has been gaining momentum since winning Miss International a few weeks ago. And with VENEZUELA at Miss Universe, I think they have a chance to win Miss Universe once again. VENEZUELA has a wonderful personality and a strong presence that you just can't ignore. Now, what can you say about that? I'd like to hear your thoughts about these girls that I mentioned. Just comment them down below. These frontrunners are just frontrunners. It is not always 100% that the crown goes to one frontrunner. There is always someone or a couple of girls lurking behind the bush and ready to attack anytime they are provoked. Now, who are those girls who give the biggest threat to these frontrunners? Let's find out right now. At this point, we still have to wait for the preliminary competition. And from there, I'm going to get my top 15. Not yet at this moment. It's just a conclusion about Gazini in general. That because of this pageant 2019 crowded with wonderful girls, it is not easy to say that she's gonna win. And with other heavy favorites from Asia, we can never be sure really. But if she makes it through, then that's another story. If we can say that Venezuela is Venezuela, we can now also say that Philippines is Philippines. Especially if that girl is being supported not just by the fans, but by the best trainers in the Philippines. In unity. They are all together in dressing her up and in making her a queen. So that's a different level now. We have gained a lot knowledge or tips from Catriona Gray's performance. And if she loses, Pinoys, let's accept it. We have to be proud and humble at the same time. If Gazini doesn't make it, then it's really not for her. It's God's will. So good luck to Gazini, good luck to all of us, and good luck to other girls and their fans. And see you right after the preliminary competition. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.